with breaking news here on Live Impact. Just came across our desk not 15 minutes ago. A federal judge has dismissed the criminal cases against former FBI Director James Comey and current New York Attorney General Letitia James, concluding that the prosecutor who brought the charges at President Donald Trump's urging was illegally appointed by the Justice Department. I want to state that once again just to be clear. A federal judge has dismissed the criminal cases against former FBI Director James Comey and current New York Attorney General Letitia James. That judge has concluded that the prosecutor who brought the charges at the behest of Donald Trump was illegally appointed by the Justice Department. Now, that prosecutor is Lindsay Halligan. She is the latest Trump administration prosecutor to be disqualified because of the manner in which she was appointed. So that is the breaking news of the day. Now let's dig a little bit deeper into this case because it relates very closely back to Hampton Roads when it comes to New York Attorney General Letitia James. You may recall that Letitia James was in Norfolk in late October in order to submit her plea in this case because the charges against her revolve around a property that is located in Norfolk, Virginia. Now, Letitia James pleaded not guilty to 2 counts, one of bank fraud and 1 count of making false statements to a financial institution. She was in a Norfolk federal courtroom for her arraignment when she made that not guilty plea. Now, Letitia James also considered a political opponent of current President Donald Trump, and she is someone who has brought cases against Donald Trump from her position as New York Attorney General. Now, the trial for Letitia James was initially scheduled for January 26, 2026, but now that case, as we stated, has been thrown out by a federal judge. So this is a situation where Letitia James had a property in Norfolk, and the charges stem from allegations that she signed a document agreeing to keep that property solely for personal use. But the charges once again say that she instead rented it to a family of 3. Now, she says that that is not the case. She denies these charges and she denies her guilt in this situation. She called this nothing more than a continuation of the president's desperate weaponization of our justice system. So that is currently the situation with Letitia James. That case has now been thrown out. Let's talk a little bit about Lindsay Halligan. Lindsay Halligan, and I'm getting a note here from producer Nia Campbell. What's going on, Nia? What do you got for me?
ABC is taking a special report on this. We can take this live right now.
Okay, ABC with a special report on this. Let's go live to ABC for more on these 2 criminal cases that have been dismissed.
Prejudice, meaning in theory it could be refiled. There may be, at least in the case of former FBI Director James Comey, statute of limitations that will butt up against the possibility of refiling the charges. So the path forward is a bit uncertain, but for now, as reflected in the statement from Letitia James, she said she is heartened by what she's calling today's victory. Kira?
President Trump has suggested going after others. Do you think what we're seeing happening today will stop him from doing that?
Well, there's certainly no telling. He has made clear that he is on a retribution campaign against his perceived political enemies. That could include Senator Adam Schiff. If that's all going to be concentrated in one prosecutorial district, the Eastern District of Virginia, there seemingly are problems that other cases could run into with the way Lindsay Halligan was appointed. We know that there may be separate investigations in other places. When it comes to Letitia James, the Northern District of New York in Albany is also believed to be investigating Letitia James. The prosecutor there may also have problems with the way he was appointed, Kira, at least according to James and her attorneys. So this campaign of retribution may not be as easy to come by as President Trump had hoped.
Aaron Katursky, thank you. Karen Travers, Pierre Thomas, also our John Carl. Thank you all so much. Our coverage does continue on ABC News Live at abcnews.com. David Muir will be here with the entire team for World News Tonight. I'm Kira Phillips. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you over on Live.
And of course, we'll have coverage of this story all day today, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, right here on 13 News Now, and continuing coverage now on Live Impact News. So we just spoke about Letitia James. The criminal case against her has been thrown out. She is the New York Attorney General, but the reason this relates so closely back to home here in Hampton Roads is because she was charged with 2 counts, bank fraud and making false statements to a financial institution revolving around a property that she owned here in Norfolk, Virginia. She claimed that that property would just be for personal use. The charges were brought against her based on claims that that was not the case. She denied those charges, and now those charges have been dismissed by a federal judge. They've been dismissed based on the fact that the prosecutor who brought the charges was, how do we say this, appointed improperly or appointed illegally by the Justice Department. That prosecutor is Lindsay Halligan. She is the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia. She was appointed after a previous U.S. District Attorney, Eric Seibert, stepped down. Now, he stepped down following reports that he would not pursue a fraud case against Letitia James. His replacement did pursue that case, and that case has now been thrown out. Now, what we're going to do, somewhat unorthodox here, we're actually going to play Letitia James's speech from when she walked out of the Norfolk courthouse after making her not guilty plea. So this speech is from about a month ago. At the end of October, Letitia James had just submitted 2 not guilty pleas to the 2 charges brought against her. She exited the courthouse and she gave a speech to the assembled media and many others, many people outside the courthouse to support Letitia James, primarily after she put in those not guilty pleas. She exited the courthouse, she gave a speech, and as of today, those charges have been thrown out.